months, they've been on the endangered list. Now it seems the Vancouver Grizzlies are history.
A disappointing run to Canada's second NBA franchise. So an announcement today that it's applied to move to an American city comes as no surprise.
Bring back the Grizz!
Miss you, Grizzlies. Bring them back.
Kathleen Jayme is the writer and director of The Grizzly Truth.
So if I told adolescent Kat that you'd be doing what you're doing now, your thoughts would be what?
I wouldn't believe it. Getting the chance to get to know, rub shoulders, and become friends with all these NBA superstars that I grew up watching and idolizing, especially as a huge diehard Grizzlies fan, being able to text Bryant Reeves like happy birthday when it's his birthday, or Mike Bibby, liking stuff on social media. I have so many pinch me moments. If I told 6-year-old Kat, I don't think I would have believed me.
How did it come to fruition? How did you channel your fandom into your vocation?
I have a pretty obsessive personality, as you can probably tell by all the Grizzly documentaries I've made. I made 4, basketball/Grizzlies related films. And so to be able to combine my love for basketball and the love of the Grizzlies with my love of filmmaking has just been such an awesome experience. I have a lot of people who ask me aren't you getting tired of this? And my answer is straight up no. Telling the story, doing all the research, getting to know everyone within the organization has brought me so much joy.
What is your family's origin story in terms of immigrating to Canada?
My family immigrated to Canada because of martial law in the Philippines. On my mom's side, my great-grandfather was one of the Marcoses, who was the dictator at that time, one of his harshest critics, sought political asylum in the States, wasn't granted that, but Canada welcomed them. So that's kind of why I came to Canada, or why I'm Canadian.
Often for first, second generation Canadians, when our parents come here, we feel a debt to make sure that we pay good on that investment. Going into an area like film is one that our parents may say, find a good job.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
Thankfully, I have a really supportive family. I actually come from a line of filmmakers. On my mom's side, her dad was the youngest director in the Philippines. His brother was a very well-known producer, director in the Philippines, made a lot of films with Roger Corman, who's a U.S. producer. His sister was a producer, and their dad owned one of the 3 major studios in the Philippines in the 1950s, which is known as the golden age of cinema in the Philippines. So I actually grew up with a camera pointed, in my face. My whole life has been documented by my grandfather. My cousins' lives has been documented by my grandfather. So I grew up going to school, and this is pre-social media. Now everyone documents on their phones. But when I was in high school, we didn't have that. Social media wasn't a thing. But I would come to school with my video camera, and I would film my friends, I would edit movies, and so I always wanted to be a filmmaker.
In North America, it's not easy for people who look like you on a multitude of levels to get funding, to get greenlit, to get support. How have you been able to navigate that to get to your level of success?
I'm not saying I'm the only female or female Filipino filmmaker out there in the sports media landscape, but there are very few of us. And so there have been so many moments where I walk into a media scrum and everyone's looking at me she's lost. She doesn't really belong here. Being in the sports media landscape for the past, 7 or so years, I do feel a sense of duty to help other female filmmakers through the door. And I honestly have to give props to a lot of these NBA superstars who, you can make a film about the Grizzlies, but if no one's in it, who's gonna who's gonna watch it? It's the people are looking for big names and whatnot. So all the players who have said yes, I am very grateful. They're helping elevate a female filmmaker's voice. Hi, Byron. I never wanted to be in my films, and even with Finding Big Country, at the 11th hour, I was trying to get out of it. I called my producer the night before, and I was like, do I really need to be in this? Maybe can we just shoot it twice? Let's shoot Bryant by himself doing everything, and then we can shoot me and Bryant at the same time. And my producer, give him credit, and he was like, sure, we can do that, but really, Kat, I think the magic will be you and Bryant together. And I think I was hesitant at first because I think I was waiting for someone to give me permission to be on camera. when now I realize how important representation is, like behind and in front of the camera.
So if the modern day 6 or 7-year-old version of you is sitting in these seats that you sell out watching one of your films, what would you want them to learn from your story that they could apply to theirs?
I'd love for them to watch my, the films I create and say like, yeah, like I can do that. And there's such power in that. Like that's truly why I love the Vancouver Grizzlies so much. Because when I watched the Grizzlies, I was like, I can. Why can't I be the first girl to play in the NBA? And that kind of confidence and that kind of inspiration is what has stuck with me throughout my career and has fueled me. So like even like going to the media scrums, it's like, yeah, like why can't I be in this room? Like I do belong here.